Hey folks, it's Jeremy, the host of Blammo. Thanks so much for listening. This is a preview of one of our exclusive shows on Patreon. These are member-supported shows, meaning they only happen because of our incredible members and community. So check out a preview of the episode, and if you like it, consider joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/Blammo, where we have tons of exclusive Blammo episodes, shows, our amazing Slack group, and we're adding new things for members all the time. If not, no worries, we still love you, and we literally have hundreds of episodes of Blammo all free for you to dive into. Thanks so much.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Peter?
I'm doing all right. How do you do when anyone recognizes your name and says, "Oh, are you the Derek guy?"
That's first off, that makes it sound way more important than I am. We had a conversation about this. I hate it. I'm sorry. It's not. I had a conversation with I don't know if it's Aaron Levine or Aaron Levine, but he now designs for Theory. Actually, he has his own line, Aaron Levine, New York. And we had
great suits.
Great suit. I mean, he's just unbelievably stylish guy.
Just an incredible guy.
And we had a conversation about this years ago. And he said he had an awkward interaction with someone at work and felt really bad about it later because he understood that it comes off as unfriendly, cold, I'm too cool for you, or whatever, all of the bad things that one might think of. And he said it's just that he has anxiety and it just like gummed up his social gears, if you will,
Yeah.
And then that happened, I think in like 2019 or 2020. And then he started doing this series where he had guests. He had like other like fashion industries.
Oh, that would talk about their anxieties.
Just things that they're dealing with.
Yeah, I remember.
Like somebody might say like my father passed away and I'm like working through this, and just people sharing like very things that they normally would not. This is normally you post something on Instagram, you're like,
look at this awesome dish that I'm having.
Look at this awesome
vacation.
Dish. Like look at this expensive watch, or like I'm in Italy, and all this stuff. Like very few things are like super sincere.
Sure.
On Instagram, it's a flex, or it's like a pun, or whatever it is. And he did this whole
it's
thing.
Ironic.
Yeah, he did this. Aaron did this whole thing where he invited people and had this conversation. Anyway, but I have the same thing. Some people have sometimes came up to me, and I hate it. I really dislike it. Partly because, and I have this feeling, very strong feeling, that being online should be considered a shameful thing.
But you're so
I'm very online. I'm on blogs, on forums, I'm online. And it's weird to me that it's become less stigmatized because it is actually a shameful thing.
Is this it's a shameful thing? Why?
You're like a troll under the bridge.
Shouldn't you be working?
You could be, literally any activity is better than being online. Literally any activity. Going outside,
enjoying your
throwing rocks at windows,
feeding pigeons.
Literally committing crime is literally better than being on. I'm dead serious. And it's weird to me that not only has being online become so normalized for millions of people.
Oh, billions.
Yeah, billions. But also it's become so part of our political discourse that it shapes our political discourse.
That's true. That is actually weird to think about, given the fact that 20 years ago, no one would mention a tweet.
Like, we have departments, like Department of Homeland Security or Defense, and they'll tweet memes.
Right.
This is like a very embarrassing thing. Like, you should not, this is extremely shameful behavior.
Instead of having meaningful discourse,
you should not even give a hint to anyone that you're online. If anyone came up to you and said, are you, whatever, Pablo Thriftskabar on Style Forum, that should bring
then you say, yeah, that's my name.
Deep shame. That should be like, oh my goodness, like
there was some good names on
such a loser
online.
Leonardo da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine being a grown ass man and someone comes up to you and says, "Are you Leonardo da Vinci?"
I've seen your fits; they're pretty fly.
That's yeah. So anyway, I have a strong theory, not a theory, but it's just it's a prejudice that like being online, checking your email, normal behavior, but being online, deeply embarrassing. Someone from Wired interviewed me once of how to win an online argument. And I was like, why are you asking me that? No, I don't even know why you asked.
Come on.
No, I genuinely have no idea. It's true that I'm argumentative and it's true that I'm very online, but I don't know why you're asking me how to win. I'm not like, Sun Tzu of winning
I don't
online
know.
arguments.
Are you self-aware at all of your actions being online? And not that you don't take... Not that you don't have an opinion. It's fine to have an opinion and to defend your opinion. That's totally fine. But maybe because of the fact that the both of us spent many years on Style Forum have given us and I say this with love because I'm very much the same person. Yeah, has given us I don't think you know what you're talking about kind of, when someone says something ignorant, you're like, oh, okay, well, let's.
Yeah, that first off, that's a bad personality trait. That's
true.
genuinely a bad, that's a horrible personality trait.
It is.
And then to demonstrate that knowledge in a way that shows you've been very online, it shows you've wasted a tremendous part of your life. I mean,
I'm right there with you.
You know what I'm saying? And it used to be actually very embarrassing to be on Style Forum. That's why people obscured their faces.
That's true, right?
This is actually shameful behavior. And it's weird that it's become so normalized. And I really think that all of society would be better if we just went back to at least pretending that it's shameful so that fewer people engage in it.
Here's the question. What would you do if you had all the time in the world and you were independently wealthy? And you could live anywhere you wanted in a walkable neighborhood or in the middle of the mountains or wherever. If you were not online, what would Derek Guy love?
There are, two people in me. One person wants to live in a walkable urban neighborhood, go to bookstores and just read and go feed pigeons.
Nice.
And go see tailors whenever they, come into town and stuff like that. Like books, feeding pigeons, squirrels, and crows and clothes. That would be my life. Another part of me wants to live in a remote area and have an animal rescue sanctuary.
Nice.
Of an online friend of mine. I mean, you don't want to pry into people's personal lives. But she appears to have quite a bit of money and it's a dream life. She's beautifully dressed. She's not an influencer. She's just like a normal person, but she is genuinely beautifully dressed, super stylish. She lives in this beautiful home. And then next to the home is literally like a farm where she raises rescued animals,
Nice.
like all sorts of animals that she's rescued that were ill or were going to be put down or whatever it is. And that is her life. And to me, that's sometimes I wonder, why am I working so hard to live in the city if I really just want to live in the countryside, disconnect from the internet and just feed animals? I will say that in my head, I think, I would love to have an animal sanctuary. But one time I was walking around and a wild turkey came within 50 feet of me. And
wild turkeys are aggressive.
And I thought I was going to die. I literally, I'm not exaggerating. I thought, this is the end of my life. I'm going to die. I stood there and I thought, this is it. I'm going to be devoured.
Did it start to puff up its feathers? What was it doing?
It just walked around. It ran a little bit towards me.
It didn't cackle or make any...
It raised its feathers a little bit, walked towards me, and then eventually walked away. And there was a moment I was like,
this is it.
This is the end of my life. I'm going to be devoured by a wild turkey. And then there's that realization that I think that I would love to hug bears.
They would love to hug you too.
I watch these videos online. I see people hugging bears. And I'm like, oh, that's me. That's so me. I would love to hug that bear. I want to hug that bear so much. That crocodile would totally be my friend.
Oh man, I saw this, and I know a lot of this is all AI generated, but there was this one video that was too grainy to be AI generated. And it was a guy that was talking to a crocodile like he was his buddy. Hey, buddy, you want something to eat? Hey, you want some chicken? And he was just like slapping his head, like, "Are you hungry? You want some of this? You want some? Yeah, you like those pats? Yeah, you want some squirrel?" I was like, this guy is about to be eaten alive by a huge predator that is many times his size and that likes flesh.
I love those videos. That's actually the majority of my social media feeds is I especially for Twitter, I've carefully trained it so that I only like animal content.
Nice.
So my algorithm only serves me, like, obviously other stuff will pop up because that's like Twitter's always trying to bait you into outrage, but like the algorithm knows that all of my likes are animal related.
What are some accounts that you follow
for animals?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's like,
I like this one. It's like Boontigoogan. I can't pronounce it, but it starts with a B.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And it's all just happiness.
The other really good ones are zoo accounts because they have access to a wide variety of animals.
And the cameras are on 24/7.
And they're just like constantly filming. So like you get to see different animals that is not just the same recycled. I mean, there are, I can't think of some at the moment, but there are certain videos that are just like constantly cycling through, but all original content, cute levels are like significantly higher.
Yeah.
And yeah, just really, really good. You end up like rooting for certain animals. Like there's certain, you know, there's a zoo account that I follow that posts, I feel bad. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but it's TAPIR, Tapir or Tapir.
Oh, the animal.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And there was one called Ume. Okay. And I saw the, you know, when she was like just after she was birthed and have like watched her grown up, and like that's like one of my favorites.
Nice.
But anyway, that's my dream, is to either do the walkable urban neighborhood or just move out into the country and raise animals. Frank Mujden's.
I know. I was thinking about him. I was thinking, what a life he lived. It's great.
Frank Mujden's head of menswear of J. Crew from roughly, I want to say like 2006 to about 2012, somewhere around that period.
Early 2000s.
And like was part of that whole heritage menswear movement. Is the reason why a lot of guys ended up wearing like chambray shirts and Red Wings and Barber. Like,
was he responsible for the canoeist anorak?
No.
Oh,
that came.
No, that was later. That was 2017, 18.
Yeah, he left after. I mean, the whole thing is that J. Crew struck a deal with a private equity firm, ended up taking on a lot of debt, and there's all sorts of stories of what happened. But eventually, him and Jenna Lyons left.
Okay.
And Frank Mujden's opened a bed and breakfast somewhere in Massachusetts. The name of the town escapes me.
Still going?
Yeah, and he opened it with his partner, and from what I can tell, he spends his day managing the bed and breakfast and gardening.
Yeah. Nice life.
Like, I guess he goes to fashion shows every once in a while.
Yeah. He pops up every time I'm in New York, he's there.
Yeah, but like his life is basically just like in the countryside. It's beautiful.
You could do that, just live like an hour and a half north on the coast. You have your little denizen of small animals.
Yeah.
Nothing that is carnivorous, nothing that could do you any harm. And just feed them nuts and berries.
Right.
And then come to San Francisco to see your tailors.
Yeah. That's what somebody from Style Farm, RSS, early Savile Row customer. I think he was Savile Row customer in the 70s or 80s. I mean, he was like an OG kind of, like he knew his stuff and he was into it before the internet.
He's like there with Will.
Yeah.
He's been doing it forever.
He's like the real deal.
Yeah.
And he moved out to somewhere in a rural locale. And last I heard, he raises sheep
nice.
With his partner. And that's like his life.
Have you always been that way? Like very much connected with animals and nature? And...
Well, I don't know about, I wouldn't say I'm connected with, when I was young, I wasn't like into nature, but I always really cared about animals. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's like feeding animals to me is like the cheapest high value joy.
Yeah.
Because I buy pigeon seed and peanuts I buy pigeon seed for pigeons and then peanuts for crows and squirrels. And, it's like I spend, I don't know, I think like maybe $10 a week. And it's like, it's honestly the greatest.
Do some of them recognize you?
Like, yeah, like crows follow me around in my neighborhood. Yeah.
That's
crows
awesome.
follow me around.
That's great.
Like after a certain point, they like realize Like, I don't have peanuts on me.
Do they say, "Hey, are you Derek Guy, the guy that's online all the time? Are you the guy that writes about menswear?"
But yeah, like I walk a couple blocks and like crows will follow me for a few blocks because they just know.
I hear crows are incredibly smart.
Yeah. A bespoke suit is like thousands of dollars. And even that does not give me the satisfaction of feeding a crow. So,
speaking of bespoke suits, how long have you been into bespoke suits? Like when it goes back to like our early years on the forum. So we're going back to like, I think I joined in 08. You probably around the same time or shortly thereafter. Were you always into bespoke suits? I only ask that because my arc is kind of bizarre in that I grew up wearing suits, but I didn't know really anything about them until I joined the forum, and I'm like, oh, wow, I have a lot to learn. Because I was into suits insofar as whatever the common clothing media would produce, like GQ, Esquire, that sort of thing. So I knew a lot about that, and I would go into a little bit of the history, but I didn't know anything about Bruce Boyer. I didn't know anything about Dressing the Man. You know, I didn't know anything about what had been written before, just what I had been fed. And then I get into Style Forum, and if I were to look at my arc, if I were to look at pictures of myself that I posted even way back then, I'm like, ooh, I've made some silly mistakes. I remember one in particular. So I'm sure everyone has a story similar to that, where they get really enamored with a thing, right? After years, you realize that it's not just a thing, it's your outfit as a whole. But it was a thing, and it was wool ties. I'd never known about wool ties, especially cashmere wool ties. There was this pink Attalini tie that was drifting around Style Forum, I want to say in the early 2010s. And I think Vox was wearing it with a Attalini camel double-breasted jacket, and it looked great. And I'm just like, ooh.
No, he did not have a pink tie with that.
He didn't have a pink tie with that?
Open collar.
Shirt. That's right. It was an open collar. In the car.
I've memorized every single
in the car,
shot.
right?
Yeah, in the
that's
car.
right, in the car. What was he wearing the pink at?
He did not have the pink.
He did not have
tie.
it, but it like changed hands, didn't it?
It changed hands, but Vox is above. So for those who don't know, the pink Adelina tie was there was a member on the forum. There was a part of the forum where you'd sell things,
right?
And somebody listed a pink Adelini wool tie. I think the price was, I don't know, like $30 or something like that, right? and then somebody said, "Okay, I'll buy it." And then he said, "Okay, sold." And then somebody else chimed in and said, "I'll actually pay $35." And then he said, "Oh, okay, then I'll sell it to you." And then that spun into, this is the thing about forums, is that like some really stupid issue ends up being the biggest thing.
Right. It becomes
and like everybody's talking about it now. So like there were like,
can you believe that guy?
That people are saying that they should. Then I
he
remember Dopey said, "I will never buy anything from you ever again if you sell it to that guy for $35." And then Greg Lelouch from No Man Wants Alone chimed in and said, "This is like it was like a whole thing." And so people were calling for this person to be banned from the forum. And then ended up, I don't know who ended up getting the tie, but then they ended up selling it. And then they ended up selling and the very last person to own it is Matt.
Yeah.
Matt
from
at Lux Swap.
Yeah.
Owns it. I don't know if he ended up selling it, but it ended up in his hands.
That's part of menswear lore.
But that is like that was like a forum kind of like joke of like the pink Adelini. It might have been cashmere tie.
So there was that. I've always wanted a camel hair double-breasted coat, which I eventually got. And I always wanted a especially pink wool tie, but I got just any old wool tie. And I paired it with a Ralph Lauren suit, Ralph Lauren Purple Label from the 90s in a very fine, almost shiny worsted nail head. And Vox called me out and said, you don't understand what you're doing. Very kind. He's very, very kind. But he basically said, you don't understand what you're doing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm wearing a tie. And it's a solid tie. So it's plain, it's innocuous. And so then I got to learn a lot about that. About the fact that, well, there's a sliding scale. You're talking about seasonality. You're talking about casualness. You're talking about what goes with what.
That's one thing that is missing as the internet has morphed from forums and blogs to Instagram, Twitter, is that there is a certain level of, I don't know it's level, but I don't know, a certain type of discourse that's very hard to have now. And I remember
you talking about that in the early days of Twitter and Instagram. You're like, where can I find a place that is like Style Forum, but not Style Forum? Only because I think by that time, and it's always been that way, but I think by that time it had become overrun with a lot of people who had no idea what they were talking about, but just wanted to argue.
Yeah. I mean, so on Twitter, I remember someone, Dopey, that's his Style Forum name. We're not calling him a dope. But anyway, Dopey on Style Forum had commented on some guy on Twitter who's like one of these like trad, return to trad, blah, blah, blah kind of guys on Twitter. And the guy had posted a photo and Dopey said, you have like he paid him a superficial comment, like you have your heart in the right place or something like that. But
Want to hear the rest? Listen to the full episode and many more other exclusive episodes over on our Patreon. Visit patreon.com/Blamo to sign up and join the Blam fam. You also get access to our exclusive members-only Slack group where we chat about this and a ton of other things. So head over to patreon.com/Blamo and we'll see you there.